Hey everybody, I'm in bed because I don't feel like getting up being lazy, and I'm like, if I could just make videos from my bed, which is one of my favorite places, that's what I would do. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it from my bed, and no makeup, and my gloves. My hands are really dry right now, and 'cause I've been washing them a lot. I don't know why, because I'm just like germaphobe right now. So this is I have coconut oil inside of here to make my hands. My hands are usually really soft. They're like rough. So anyway, so I'm looking like a murderer. But I wanted to do this video because, I was watching this video this morning about this woman who is part of this organization. I'll post, I think I can post pictures with all of this. I don't know how to do that, child. But anyway, she's part of this organization about sisterhood being global. And that when one sister goes through something and we talk to another sister, another sister, another sister, another sister about it, we, our anger gets us to talk about it for the first time. And then from that, because it sometimes the way it has to affect us, so, or somebody is close to us, and then we get upset about it, then we talk about it, and then we um, talk to somebody else about it, and then they say, "Hey, me too," hashtag Me Too movement. Although that's not quite my situation, but but then the other sister will say, "Me too," and then that person, then and on and on and on and on and on. And I've gotten a lot of Me Too's from putting these videos out here. Women who have gone through crazy divorces, have had all kinds of issues with their ex spouses, and in a situation. Okay, so this video is basically like, okay, I'm dealing with the situation with my ex, the father of my children, and he is quick to talk about he has joint custody of these boys. But what he's not quick about doing is joint responsibility. I wish I had the time, effort, and energy to go into the court system and edit all of these things and say, no, it's not joint custody, it's joint responsibility. Okay, it's not child support. It is mandatory. Blah, blah, blah. Like, we need to rechange some of these things, these words, the verbiage of what's going on here, because you ain't doing nobody no favors. And having custody does not mean that means responsibility, that you have full-fledged responsibility to help take those children to their next level. Right now, I have two teenagers. I'm dealing with the emotional, we know, if you got a teenager, you know the emotional stuff they go through. All of that, they're growing and molding into whoever it is they're trying to be. Okay. And we're the guardrails, right? We just trying to make sure they don't go off the side of the road. Okay. We just like, okay, 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 okay. As you're trying to figure out this thing called life, don't kill yourself in the process. Don't make bad decisions that you can't rebound from in the process. So that's parenting. And if I had to say what was parenting, that would sum it up. But the other thing is, you have to so he's quick to talk about what he got joint custody, but what he's not quick to do is take responsibility for what that is. And that even means not talking to me out any kind of way. That means not calling me out my name. That means not disrespecting me. That means paying your child support. He sent me a post-dated check for March the 7th for 3 months of back payment. Well, 2 months of back payment in March. And I'm like, I have to call my bank and go, because who writes checks? Okay. I'm gonna call my bank and be like, if I deposit a check and it bounces, are y'all going to charge me a fee? And I'm not going to write any checks again and will write check or do anything against that money. Of course, you know what I'm saying. I'm just going to let it see what happens. But I'm like, oh my god, I'm scared to even put the thing in the bank because I've had him so many times. He has just screwed me over. But that's your responsibility, is to pay me that money. And it's, yeah, it looks like you paying me, but you can pay. It's paying for them. We have to do some things this next year to make sure their school, that they get a good education. I have to take them out of PG County school system. We've been here half a school year, and I can raise my hand and attest to the fact that it is fucked up. Okay, so we getting ready to get out of the school system and go to Virginia. Okay, it just makes a ton of sense. I work in Virginia. My husband works in Virginia. He can be by city or whatever, by statal or whatever, and the kids can go to school there, whatever we got to do. I'm looking at a few options here in PG, but nothing amounts to what I can get for two children, two for the price of one, two children in Virginia. But anyway, so basically, this video is just me venting about joint responsibility. Not just joint custody. Take full responsibility for your children. It's not when you can, when you feel like you can, all that kind of stuff. Look, if I don't have no food, I got to figure that shit out. If I have to get electricity paid, we got to figure that shit out. If we got to get dental insurance and health insurance, like the health insurance, I just found out this is joint responsibility. Hashtag joint responsibility. I just found out that my kids have not had health insurance for 6 motherfucking months. He didn't even tell me the shit was not done. It wasn't right for 6 months. So I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What if something happened to my kids? Now, luckily, I have a backup system for my children because I be making sure my babies be having what they need. But the responsibility falls on you. And now I'm getting phone calls about a procedure or just a regular checkups that they had that I got to pay $82. I don't mind. It's not the $82. It's the fact that you are supposed to be paying for their health care. Okay? You don't have them full time. I do. Okay? I would love for them to be bi-parental, to whatever. But that's not what they want. You know what I'm saying? And per the judge and the therapist, it's fine for them at this age to make those decisions about where they want to spend their time, where they feel trusted, where they feel comfortable. But it's also a situation of you don't have shit to do. You have the ability to work 2, 3, 5 jobs. Okay? You can work 5 jobs and get the money to get the health insurance, to pay the child support. Go to these places. There are several companies out here that will pay you for full-time health benefits to work part-time. Go get one of them jobs, okay? Do your full-time gig, get your part-time shit, but get your shit together. You didn't have no problem with me standing in the line to get welfare. And yes, I tapped into the system that I've been paying into for fucking decades. I'm living with my man, at the time, well, not my man, my leech, okay? My victimizer. He victimized me and our family. And we couldn't even figure out how to feed our children. I went down and stood in the welfare line to make sure we had food. Me. I was the breadwinner of the house. I was the person who provided our health care. And when I got downsized, he couldn't pick up the slack. I paid for our basement to turn into an apartment unit to get $2,000 a month. And that should have supplemented, made up for the deficit, not all of my income, but it definitely should have been no reason why between unemployment, savings, and money from the basement that I should have been able to stay at home and finally catch my breath after my dad died and all that kind of stuff. It was my turn to have some moments. My turn for you to be responsible for everything and utilizing the things that I had put in place. But so joint responsibility, motherfucker. Joint responsibility. Joint responsibility for your wife at the time, and now joint responsibility for your children. This is not you can't choose not to be responsible and then want to have some fucking say so in shit. You don't have no say so if you don't pay up. You have to do something. You can't just do the parts that you just can't pick and choose the pieces of life that you want to choose from. You got to do all that shit. It ain't easy, but it's worth it. You got to do it. It hurts. It's painful. It's a pain in the mother ass. As much as I love my children, I can't wait for them to go to college. And I'm doing everything I can to prepare them for it so I can have time, so that when they are off and doing their thing, I can do my thing. And they're gonna come home and they're gonna throw their dirty laundry all over the place, and I'm gonna help them. We're gonna wash it. I'm gonna take it to the washing fold, and and make sure everything's fine. They're gonna be talking about all the good times they have in the college, how hard some of the classes are, the people that they've met. That's what this is about, getting them to where they have to go. It's a fight and a struggle to get them there. Enjoy the moments as we go. But joint custody, motherfucker, don't mean nothing if you don't have joint responsibility. Okay? Okay. As usual, let me end in a prayer. God, you are awesome and have caught me in so many times when I felt like I had no options, none. Thank you for allowing me to have options. Thank you for always making sure that things are taken care of. And thank you for helping me understand and making me know that joint custody is joint responsibility. I have full responsibility and I take full responsibility. And thank you for allowing me to have the tools to have full responsibility. I pray that you ask people who also have joint custody to have joint responsibility, not part time, but they complete responsibility to get their children to the next level, not demonizing the parent, not taking down anybody, not lying, not manipulating, none of that. Joint custody, help them, Lord, understand, is joint responsibility. In your glorious name, I pray. Amen. Joint custody is joint responsibility. Bye.